everyone, welcome into the Road to Opening Day, presented by Apt Electronics, Appliances, and more. I'm Kelly Krall, and there is no better time than now to be a Cubs fan. The Northsiders garnering more attention than any ball club this spring on the heels of a 97-win season, a trip to the NLCS, and here they find themselves entering 2016 as the preseason favorites to win the World Series. That would end a 108-year drought, so lofty expectations. However, who better to manage a club with those kinds of pressures than the always relaxed, ever entertaining Joe Maddon, who starts his day the same way every day with a bike ride where he clears his mind and plays with different lineup options. I had a chance to join the skipper on one of those excursions in Mesa one day, and we discussed how consistency has been the key to his approach.
Why don't we just say that you're always going to ride on the inside, I'll ride on the outside, okay? That way, that's also chivalry right there. So you're going 12 miles an hour right now. It's pretty good.
See, your bike has the speedometer.
You got to have it.
Is that how you keep your workout on pace?
Well, you try to just see, like, into the wind is one thing, wind at your back is something else. If you could keep up some decent speed into the wind, that's always good. And like I said, these excuse me, these tires make a little bit more. So you got that Cubs groundkeeper's coming out of nowhere. Yeah, we're going to start going a little bit quicker. Yeah, go right now, go. So now we're going to try to catch them. Oops. Come on, you're doing good. Everything's about energy, man, everything. And if you have good energy with good baseball players, it's all, it all plays, it all comes together. It's not complicated, man. I really try to promote a vibe where guys can be themselves and just provide the energy that they have within. And if they're all doing it, that plays off one another, just keeps bouncing off each other. So it's, I think we got that going on right now.
Johnny Lester said, even Joe's relaxed a little bit more in this second year, and I think the response was Joe can relax even more than he has. We weren't really sure that was possible. He did say that.
That's tremendous. He's probably right. I mean, you know, your first year of doing anything with a new group, there's so many firsts going on that you really don't know. Just getting to know people is one of those, probably the most important thing. And we all know what it's like when you're talking to somebody for the first time that you don't know, but you know, in our business is really highly charged and pretty good. There's always that level of nervousness within that conversation, regardless of how much you try for it to not show, you feel it. And then it's up to you to be able to harness that somehow so that it doesn't spill over into the actual conversation. You got to be tough, you know? So, and listen, anybody that says they don't go through that is really not telling you the truth. You're right. It happens to all of us on all levels. What I like to do is, you know, get up about 9 o'clock and then get my coffee, read my notes, do my lineup. I send my lineup into Peter and to Brandon Hyde, and then, you know, right around 11:30, 12 o'clock, try to get on the bike and go down to the lake. When I could have that consistency of riding, and also I like to start the day by meditating. I like to meditate for 20 minutes. I have this program on my iPad, and I put my headset on where I could only hear that, and I just really get into my meditating for 20, and then I start my day. It's like anything else when you exercise. You want to start out more slowly and then build into it, and I think it's very I tell you one thing I know for sure, I definitely feel better, I definitely think better when I start my day out that way. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Anytime.
That worked. Pretty impressive
for not having done this for a while.
Thanks.
This is Phoebe Buffet from Friends right here. With the bike, with the basket. We should have put like little bell on the front there somewhere. Yeah, and she would have fit right in perfectly. But thanks for asking and having us here. Right? Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You got it. You got it.
It's safe to say there's no manager in the game that has a style quite like Joe Maddon. from zoo animals to DJs and just his laid-back approach. Players appreciate the skipper's ability to read them and just let them be themselves on the field. And his charisma is making Chicago quite a sought-after destination.
I think this year is going to be a lot different in a way of Joe knows everyone now. Year one's over, year two, you know, he got to go in the off season as well and relax and really dissect what happened as well. And now it's just going to be business and in a fun way. Joe is so good at reading our team, reading if we're tired, reading if we need to pick me up, and that's all those things last year were kind of signs of that. Okay, it's late in the year, let's bring in the zoo. We kind of ragged him about that because we wanted the zoo, but the magician. Okay, we just got swept by our division rivals. It was a tough series. We have a magician in New York. Just things like that, where he knows how to pick us up in the easiest of ways.
Yeah, Joe's got a knack of really knowing his personnel and knowing how to get the players to get the most out of them, and I think he has a feel for that. And I think he really does a good job letting the players be relaxed, let them be themselves, and let them play the game to enjoy it. And he really just seems to know what to do in situations.
He keeps it fun, keeps it light, and it's a great trait to have, especially you know, in this city with the pressure that we have on us at players at times. And he's always been great at that, at taking some of that on himself. And allowing us to just go out and play our game and have fun at the end of the day. So, you know, he's about winning. He's about you know, getting down to business, but he loves to have fun too, and that's an important part of what he does for the team.
A season ago, John Lester signed a $155 million contract to bolster a Cubs rotation that desperately needed a leader. A year later, Lester is more comfortable, and the Cubs rotation is one of the tops in the majors. Along with Cy Young winner Jake Arrieta, the Cubs added former Cardinal John Lackey. And Lester is confident that this Cubs rotation has the stuff to compete and has set a lofty milestone of 1,000 innings pitched for his staff.
You know, we got the best pitcher on the planet, you know, and you know what you're going to get from me and Lack. We don't do anything that impresses anybody. You know, we don't throw 98. We don't have the best curveballs, but we compete and we go out there and we're going to give you 33 starts and 200 innings, and you know, we'll let the flashy stuff go for Jake. He's got the, you know, he's the younger guy, he's got the stuff that everybody looks back and goes, wow, that's pretty impressive. Then you got kind of the two quiet, you know, horsemen in the back there with Kyle and Hamill. So I think for me, the biggest thing for us this year, and I really kind of want to start talking about it now, is 1,000 innings. I think that would be, I've never been part of a staff that has done that. I think that would be really, really cool if we could get 1,000 innings out of our pitching staff this year, and that would really save our bullpen. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, like I said, that's our big thing. That's really the only goal I set every year is 200 innings. So we do that, I think we're in a good spot at the end.
The decision to ride on and save money. He decided to save money by switching his motorcycle insurance to Geico. There's no shame in saving money. Ride on, ride proud. Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Hello?
Who is it?
It's BMO Harris. It's an automated call asking if we have any questions about the new checking account.
Nice.
Oh, this is clever. The robot or whatever just acknowledged I called it automated. Now it's saying I'm a human.
Could it actually be a human?
Oh, I am so sorry.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
That feeling you get when you discover a bank built for you, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
I'm talking about a full court press on high car prices at Schaumburg Honda Automobiles.
During the Honda Dream Garage sales event, lease the redesigned 2016 Honda Civic for just $179 a month, or a 2016 Honda Accord for only $199 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road in Schaumburg.
Man, it means a lot to be here through the 100-loss season and now almost winning. We did win over 100 games last year if you include the playoffs, but it's just one of those things where I'm just really happy with where I'm at personally and where this organization is at. And I feel like this whole organization, this whole city feels like home. It really feels like home for me. From Florida, but coming up here, it's like, oh, I'm home now. So it's really nice, and there's a lot of work to be done, and we're not satisfied, but where we're at is satisfying, but we also know that there's a lot ahead of us.
Anthony Rizzo finished 4th in the National League MVP voting a season ago, and adding some really nice pieces around him this offseason, Cubs general manager Jed Hoyer, very few as busy as he was, understanding that the window to winning a World Series is now more promising than ever, and the Cubs have become quite the destination. But with that notoriety comes one very large target: the front office, the players, firmly embracing it.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable a little bit. You know, so many people projecting this number of wins or things like that. You know, it's uncomfortable because we haven't won anything. We got swept out of the NLCS last year. I think it makes this group really hungry. I think we have the right manager and the right coaching staff to make sure that our guys understand that. I definitely don't get any sense being around these guys that they feel like they've won anything. There's any kind of entitlement. I think everyone's excited for what we have. But we realize, like, all those words that are written about us, ultimately, they don't mean anything. And in fact, they're probably going to get thrown back in our face if we don't execute.
I just like the way we're doing things, embracing the target. I don't think our guys are worried about, anything except trying to get the task at hand done properly and not worry about all this other stuff. I really, I'm appreciative and like the way our guys are going about their business.
I mean, I love the embrace the target thing. I think it's great because it's true. Like, we're supposed to be a good team. I think we're supposed to be a good team for a while. We didn't build this to have one good season. We built this to be good for a long time. So hopefully every spring, there's a level of expectations. And I think that the best organizations have expectations every single spring. The Red Sox, the Yankees, the Cardinals, the Giants, every year they come out to spring training and they're expected to be good. We want to be in that conversation every year, not just a new thing.
David Ross is one of the most beloved members in the Cubs clubhouse, so it was no surprise that he led a tour for a group of wounded warriors who spent the day with the team during spring training, and then afterwards were honored on the field before a game at Sloan Park.
Abraham, nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you guys.
Jason,
nice to meet all you guys, man. It's cool. Jake, can we meet some of the guys?
Nice to meet you.
These guys are with Peavy's Hero Jam group, with like Wounded Warriors. You know this guy, Anthony Rizzo?
Nice to meet you.
Heart and soul of our team.
How are you?
First baseman. Hey, careful right here. This guy's got a grip. This guy's got a grip for you. He's shaking. Hey, watch out. There it is. I about ripped my arm off. I was like, ow. Oh, I'm down. This is where we come in. Obviously, our schedules are on the board. Kind of get to know what we're doing today. And like tomorrow's schedule will be up before we leave, how we do our BP groups and all that stuff. Grimmer, Wounded Warrior group, say hello. Justin Grimm, he throws 100, guys. He throws 100. Give it up for Justin. This is Dexter Fowler. We got the whole group. Krista Groen, everybody. Wounded Warrior guys. Well, cool, man. Y'all enjoy the game. Pleasure meeting you guys. If I can ever do anything, they got my contact info. You got it. You got it. Anything. Awesome.
Well, Well, speaking of David Ross, Kyle Schwarber was able to take in lessons learned from the veteran when he made his big league debut a season ago. And now that Ross is in his final season, Schwarber plans on absorbing as much information as possible in order to continue his progression in his young big league career.
He's kind of been that father figure kind of for all of us in the baseball world. You know, people don't see what he does in the clubhouse for us, and you know, on the bench, and even when he does play. You know, this intensity he brings every day, it's phenomenal. It's off the charts. And you know, he teaches me great lessons, you know, all the time, just you know, and catching and off the field, how to be a professional, things like that. It's all good stuff, and you know, we are lucky to have him.
When it comes to the catching aspect of things, what do you like picking his brain about specifically?
I mean, he's been doing it for, you know, this is going to be his 15th year. He knows a lot, and like he told us yesterday, you know, all the stuff that he knows he's learned, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can off him to, you know, hopefully one day, hopefully down the road, you know, I can still teach other guys. And, you know, this stuff like game management, you know, pitch framing, things like that, receiving the ball, whatever it is, I can ask him. He's always going to have an answer for me.
On a team mixed with veterans and young guys, Addison Russell happens to be the baby of the Cubs group at just 22 years old. But you'd never know it watching him make one Gold Glove play after another up the middle. Even Anthony Rizzo pegged him as an MVP at some point in his career during a radio interview. High praise for a guy who is just getting ready to start his first full season at shortstop. But as you'll hear from Russell, he is very comfortable and confident, knowing he is the future at short on the north side.
It just gives me a chance to just relax and let my ability speak for itself. I'm not in there. I'm not trying to make the team, you know. So I just go out here and just try to have some fun, and let my athleticism speak for itself, and you know, just have a good time with my teammates here in spring.
And that will be caught by Russell. What a grab!
I just try to make the whole area, you know, whether it's in the hole or that hole, you know, I try to get myself familiar with those spots on the field, because most shortstops, or at least me, for one, I wasn't as used to those holes, so I familiarized myself with those holes. Having those add-ons, you know, Hayward and Lackey and Zobrist, my double play partner Zobrist, you know, in particular, it's going to be a good year. These guys bring a lot of hype to the game. You know, they're competitors, and they're great ball players and great people as well.
The sky is the limit for him. It's a matter of him getting comfortable, finding his style, getting the reps at this level, figuring out the way that he wants to make extended plays, because he's going to have a chance to make more extended plays than other people will make, just because his range is so good. So, I mean, it's impressive. It really is. You know, he's still very young, and he's got a lot of work to do to perfect this, but he's got all the tools that are necessary to be a really Gold Glove type caliber shortstop.
Just much more comfortable in his major league skin. I mean, that's just what's going on with him right now. I love it. He knows he belongs here. He knows he's good here. Yeah, he's in great shape. He was in fine shape last year. I think he's in even better shape right now. There's a lot going on in his personal life and his family life, which is all positive. So, yeah, he's grown up a little bit.
It was fun, man. It gave me a chance to definitely mature mentally as a father and as a husband. So it's completely different spin, but I had a lot of fun this off season. My wife, she took care of Aiden a lot whenever I had to go out and train, and just being a father, you know, is completely different. So I have a lot of reason, you know, to keep pushing. And my wife and my son, I think, are my biggest supporters, and my family as well. So it was a fun off season, a really fun off season.
For over 90 years, one name means more to car buyers, Grossinger Honda.
Lower your payment today. Get a new Honda Civic for just $148 a month with only $995 down. That's a new Civic for just $148 a month.
Grossinger Honda in Chicago.
Your old heating and cooling system is costing you money. Our preseason air conditioner sale is going on now. Get a free in-home estimate plus same-day installation of a new Lennox air conditioner from $24.95. Furnace and AC combos from $36.95. And receive 0% interest financing for 5 years. Plus, we'll beat any competitor's estimate by up to $500. Call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons.
Hey there, neighbor. What are you working on?
The view.
Uh-oh, better get Mako. For a limited time, Mako's lowest priced paint surface is on sale for only $2.99. Mako, America's body shop.
My destiny said I belong in the city.
My destiny tried to tell me where to go.
They say everyone has a predetermined path, one we can't escape.
But my path, like my car, is my choice.
Visit MitsubishiCars.com and find the car for you.
Visit MaxMatson.com. 0% APR offers 72 to 84 months plus rebates topping $1,500 and make no payments for 45 to 90 days at Max Matson Mitsubishi.
Tuesday, spring training baseball continues on CSN with another great Cactus League matchup. Watch the Cubs swing for the fences against the Oakland A's, starting at 3 p.m. on CSN. Brought to you by Canals Auto Park. Tuesday night, 2 huge points are on the line as the Hawks skate into St. Paul and look to exact some revenge on the Wild. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live on CSN Chicago.
You got to show up and play every day. You have to welcome, and I think you've heard Joe touch on it a good bit, you have to welcome those expectations. Teams are going to want to play against you. They're going to want to bring their A game. You have to want to show up every night and enjoy that moment, because you're not going to always play for a winning team. You're not going to always play for good teams, and you don't want to take it for granted. So just enjoy the moment. Go out there and have fun with the stage and just let it bring the best out of you. I kind of learned early in my career. I got to play for Bobby Cox my first year, played for Freddie Gonzalez, played for Mike Matheny, and now to Joe, some good managers that have had some good teams. You can't really control who's going to be your manager. And for me, with Joe being here, it's icing on the cake. Someone, like you said, that's going to run the clubhouse that way, give guys confidence, but also take attention away from them when it's needed. That's going to be a great thing, a great part of why we're going to do pretty well this year.
Big things will certainly be expected from Jason Hayward, but he'll get to enjoy them with a high school buddy, Dexter Fowler, who was the stunner of the spring when Jed Hoyer and Theo Epstein signed him to a one-year deal, rejoining the Cubs. This just days after he had reportedly signed elsewhere. And even more surprising was the fact that they were able to keep it a secret from everyone until this grand entrance.
Ran into Theo yesterday. He's like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you guys." But when someone says a surprise for you guys, you think of an elephant, a giraffe showing up. You don't know, So that was the last thing on my mind, or anyone's mind. And Dexter rolls in. It's pretty cool.
I'm like, man, that really does look like Dexter walking here. I mean, I thought he was at the Orioles.
I'm never off my game, and that threw me for it. I mean, I gave Dex a hug and told him, man, I'm going to miss you. I still was off. So, yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I think everybody was like looking around kind of dumbfounded. So Theo got us all. Theo pulled one over. It's not too often that you guys don't get the story before us, that's always a plus, knowing that somebody can still keep a secret. So
when things leak out, it's no one's fault, but it can create some difficult conversations for us, some difficult days for us when things leak out. So when you can actually get a transaction all the way to Dexter Fowler walking on the field, you definitely smirk that you were able to hold that and keep it quiet that long.
How about the level of talent on this team? I mean, you're back. Victorino takes a minor league deal, and you look around, you go, oh, my God.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And just to see the guys grow from last year and just the additions we had, the veteran guys coming in, and, they meshed perfectly. So, it should be a good year for us.
How do you deal with, from day one, last year was we hope they'll be good. From day one now, the bullseye's on.
Yeah, but we think about it the same way. We got to go out and we win each and every game, and that's our mindset, and I don't think anybody's gotten out of it.
How about the pressure playing in Chicago? It's different. It's a different place to play, but that's a good different.
Yeah, but we're used to it. We're used to it. We've been around it, all last year, and we're going to accept the challenge.
Dealing with Joe Maddon now in your second year. How would you describe your manager if somebody walked in and said, I've never seen this guy manage before?
If you get a chance to play for Joe, play for Joe.
How about if you get a chance to play in Chicago? How different is it for you playing there versus where you've played before?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. The fans are awesome. It's like a home game everywhere you go. So, with that said, it's no matter where you're at. I'm in Vegas for the offseason, and there's a bunch of Cubs fans out there as well.
In your mind, if you go back to December, January, was there some part of you as you went through the process went, I still may end up in Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, they stuck around the whole process, which, I was definitely grateful for. And hats off to them. And at the end of the day, I came back home.
After posting a sub-3 ERA in the first half of the 2015 season, Cubs pitcher Jason Hammel struggled with consistency in the second half. He went just 5-3 with an ERA over 5. However, this offseason, Hammel recommitted himself to the game he loves as he tries to put an entire season together and help lead the Cubs back to the postseason.
Obviously, last year, things didn't end for me on personally good terms, so I had to make an adjustment. I'm not a guy that likes to go to bed, fighting, I guess is the way to say it. I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, you got to change something, because the last few years it's been end of the season, falter, tear off, had to make an adjustment. So I looked at all the things that I had done before, went and looked at some baseball stuff, and then actually my agent kind of came to me and was, hey, I have a friend that has done really good things with some of the guys, and just wondering if you want to try it out. If you take one thing out of it, then great. If not, at least you're dotting all your I's and crossing your T's, making sure you're giving everything you can, and I'm always open to that. So he has a friend, actually been working with him for a long time, Tom House, very well known in the baseball community, but out in at USC in California. And then I started with Eric Cressy, who is a trainer slash does a little bit of everything, but also a nutritionist. And sat down and had some good talks with those two, and really kind of did an overhaul on the mental game. And then with Tom, a very, very minor mechanical thing to apply to baseball, but he helped me mostly with the mental side of it.
That's going to do it for our Road to Opening Day, presented by Apt Electronics, Appliances, and more. The season just can't get here soon enough for Cubs fans. Anticipation growing every day after their trip to the NLCS a year ago. We'll see what they have in store for an encore as we look forward to bringing you another tremendous season of Cubs baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. I'm Kelly Krall. Thanks for joining us, everyone.